20 cars ready to go. 5 red lights will come on and then we'll be underway here in Marrakesh. And race 2 is going. It's a great start. It's a stunning start from Felix Rosenqvist. He leads, Bird in second, little lock up from Piquet in third place.
Daniel Abt 3 wide there, that's not going to work.
And he got shuffled out. Nico Prost is underneath him. It is Rosenqvist who leads, replicating the astonishing starting prowess of his teammate Heidfeld from Hong Kong.
It's the first traffic jam coming up in a second here. They're going through turn 3. The next braking zone into 4 in the chicane. One of the Mahindras looks like it's going slowly.
Yes, the Edam's cars were both alongside each other going in there, and they're still alongside. Prost is just in front in 6th of Buemi.
Got a traffic jam, yeah, behind Heidfeld in the Mahindra.
He's the stopper in the bottle, and his teammate is already at the end of the long front straight. On board with Mitch Evans. That is the Venturi alongside him of Stefan Sarazan. So far, no brushes with the wall, no car contact.
They're going into the setting sun here. Very, very difficult to see where they're going. Oh, there's a little contact there. Bit of a push.
Yeah, that's the second of the Faraday cars, the white nose of Loic Duval. Defensive from the 2 Andretti drivers. Look, they're wheel to wheel, toe to toe.
There's already a gap, and this is not good news for Lucas Di Grassi. The field is starting to stretch ahead. He needs to be going forward at this point. Now, cannot afford to let the leaders go.
Potential drama for Felix Rosenqvist. He's reported to the team on the radio already that his dashboard is stuck on one page of the display. He won't be able to update it and tell them how his usage is going.
Yeah, that's not good. That's really not good news.
On board with Di Grassi in 12th position. Rosenqvist leading from Bird and Piquet so far in their grid order. Van in 4th place. And Heidfeld, the red and white of his Mahindra car, trying to find a way past the 2 Andretti cars. That's the battle for 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th Di Grassi.
Frantz is causing a bit of a traffic jam here. I don't know if he's not up to temperature with the tyres yet, whatever. Actually, DaCosta's passed him.
Yeah.
Let's see if he pulls away now, because that traffic jam is really sort of stacked up behind the 2 Andretti cars.
Well, the Andretti cars, don't forget, went really long on their pit stop window in Hong Kong. That's not going to be an option here, Dario. This will be the longest distance ever raced by Formula E cars.
Yeah, we're looking at lap 16. You know, if you can make it to 17, great, but 16 is definitely more realistic today if the race goes green. 16 is that sort of more realistic target. If there's a full course, a full safety car, lap 13 is more likely. After that point, you're going to start to see people start to come in the pits.
And you can't really bury yourself, you can, but you shouldn't bury yourself too early in the stint here by really, really aggressively attacking the car in front. And there's the issue for Lucas Di Grassi. He's in 12th place behind this man's teammate Felix Rosenqvist, our leader, who was 1.8 seconds ahead of Sam Bird. That's what Rosenqvist needs, is Bird to be a stopper in the bottle, holding everybody else up behind him.
As long as he's not using too much energy pulling away. I mean, his pace right now is great. How is he doing that? Is he doing it because he's using energy, or is he actually that quick? If he's that quick, the rest of them are in a wee bit of trouble, I would say.
With the beer there, Joanna Ruz, who's running this Mahindra racing team. Well, if Rosenqvist can't relay to the team what's going on, they will still be getting data from the car, won't they? So they will know where he's going, and as long as his radio doesn't fail, then they'll be able to keep him in check. Look at Buemi.
Yeah, there's a bit of a move looking at Buemi stuck behind Prost. He's going to have a go down the inside into turn 7. Let's see if he can set sail now away from his teammate. They've been fairly evenly matched, but Buemi has had that advantage on him.
Well, Buemi sold that early, didn't he? Really good run off the chicane. He was alongside Prost. Prost's only option was to let him go or have a crash, and that's not helping anyone.
No, absolutely not. And again, it's all to do with energy usage. Everybody pretty close right now on energy usage. DaCosta maybe slightly ahead, but other than that, they're all about the same.
Buemi in the first of those 2 blue Edam's cars, checking his mirrors long and hard down to turn 11 to see if Prost was going to come back at him in the slipstream.
Now, we're talking about energy saving here. It's not a case of, it's not an economy run. They're not just driving around holding half throttle like you would do going up the motorway if you're trying to save some miles to the gallon. These guys they're giving up straight line speed because they're lifting off the throttle. They're making, and there's a move there.
Yeah, Heidfeld's in trouble. Up the inside goes Maro Engel, the 2 German drivers wheel to wheel, and Heidfeld drifted out wide, and the door's open for Lopez. He's going to try and stick his nose inside and stay there to the chicane.
He's got the track position.
Well, De Grassi already went by, and Lopez is still on the outside. No, that's Engel still on the outside.
And Heidfeld just gave him a side pod.
Sent him off into the dirt. Big slide from Maro Engel. And Lopez is right there underneath Engel into the chicane, but he's going to get hung out on the outside by both of those black Venturi cars.
Get back in the toe.
Yeah. It's going to turn into a Monza slipstreamer, isn't it?
That's exactly what it reminds me of, yeah.
Yeah.
Round the outside there for Sarrazin.
Drafted up behind him, used the juice to go by.
You can't accuse Sarrazin of not being brave.
Yep.
But like I was saying, they're giving up straight line speed to save energy, but they're making it up in the corners. That's how you do this. Because it's pointless keeping all this energy saved. If you're going to run around at the back, you've got to find a way to be faster than the next guy while using less energy, and that's what's going on here.
Battle for second was the purple car of Sam Bird, the DS Virgin, versus the turquoise car of Nelson Piquet Jr. There's Lucas de Grassi, already got by Heidfeld, but now trying to find a way past these two Amelin Andretti cars, first of whom is Robin Freens, and then closest to us turning in now, Antonio Felix da Costa.
We're not quite 20% into the race yet, but there's Lucas setting up now. He's in that big, there's a heads-up display, but he is setting up a move. Trust me, he's just, look at him, and he's going to go a little bit, there you go.
A long way around the outside, but that gives him the inside line under braking.
And he's off. Now let's see how quickly he gaps these guys here. That's now he's setting sail, and he's got to keep catching the car in front, pass it, keep going, while not using too much energy.
For him, it's a war of attrition, isn't it? 33 laps, every single one of which must be used to its absolute maximum ability to try and find his way further up the order.
And Rosenqvist is still doing fastest laps, and there's Heidfeld down the inside of Freins.
Yeah, Rosenqvist has just set the fastest lap of the race. On this particular lap, the man who set the fastest first sector is the other red and white Mahindra car of Nick Heidfeld, so he's not hanging around either.
Those Mahindra boys are getting the hang of this, aren't they?
Aren't they just?
The Rosenqvist used 1% more than Bird, but it's not too bad. You know, at that point, he's in the window.
Yeah, you're splitting the difference, and it sort of changes with every few hundred metres as well.
But we've now seen this year, you know, in the first season it was sort of 5%, pit. Now we're seeing they're going down to the last percent as they enter pit lane. So they've obviously got more accurate measurements than we have, but they're taking it so tight now.
And then we saw in Hong Kong, the team called Sam Bird, and he went, no, one more, and went round and they were all going, no, please don't do that. Somehow he managed to eke it out. I mean, that's, again, you know, that's drivers either misreading it or confidence in his own ability to make that 2 or 3% last.
So it wasn't just a radio fault then, they couldn't hear him?
No, I think...
Or he couldn't hear them?
I think that was him possibly just finding the faith.
Here's Jean-Eric Verne up behind Nelson Piquet. Yeah, we've got this battle for third position, and he's getting into position to sort of to make that pass. No, not quite close enough yet.
Showing him his nose.
7, yeah. Heidfeld doing a little bit of blocking there, a bit further back.
Daniel Abt still in 5th position. Sebastian Buemi and Nico Prost 6th and 7th behind him. But there is Piquet, Father Nelson Sr., multiple Formula 1 world champion, and Junior. It's always tough to be saddled with a world champion's name, isn't it? But he is a very fine single-seater racer. Our season 1 champion, of course, and so much more back to his formidable self this year with a car that will actually do what he asks of it.
And he will race anything. That's what I really like about him. He will race, you name it. Global Rallycross, whatever, he's out in it. And he was one of the first people that was enthused by Formula E. Oh, a little bit oversteer there on the way into one. Just held that really nice rear end slide. That could have ended in tears.
We saw the Techeetah garage watching Jean-Eric Verne, wondering where he's going to get by. Dario, where's he going to get by?
I don't know. I think only he knows right now, but it looks like he's setting him up. I would think into turn 7 this lap, depending how close he can get. I'm not sure he would do the move into 4. He's looking. Nah. See how good he gets off. Yeah, if he gets off there very well. Nah. Great. Not great. He's in position now, but it's whether Nelson's going to lift and coast just a little bit.
It's still very close on power. Right behind, there looked like something shaping up with Abt and Buemi. Is Buemi having a run at him? Let's take a look in the background. Who comes round first? Yeah, Abt.
Car 58, Buemi 61.
Abt just hung on, but Buemi's down the inside now into turn 10. That's a mighty move into the hairpin.
That was pretty brave, wasn't it? That's probably the most difficult place of the track just to get the car stopped. And look at Buemi go. He disappeared already.
Well, hang on, look at Prost as well. Abt might lose 2 places in this lap, and right behind is Oliver Turvey as well. There is Prost in the second of the blue Renault Edams cars. Rosenqvist using no more power, really, than anybody else out front.
This is impressive. He's kept that gap at about 2.2 seconds. He's probably thought, no point running too far ahead here, because in the event of a safety car or something, that's negated. Don't burn up the energy.
Daniel Abt has been leading the fan boost all the way through. Sebastian Buemi caught him in the last few minutes, and Lucas de Grassi. So our 2 championship challengers, they will each now get in their second car an extra 100 kilojoules of energy, which will allow them to boost the power up to full qualifying spec, 200 kilowatts for a period to allow them to get by. So that's really good news for Abt, that's really good news for Buemi behind him, and for de Grassi as well. Here is Buemi going the long way around the outside of Abt at turn 7.
He sent him a dummy, didn't he? Put him offline.
Forced him to go where he wanted him.
There we go. Wow, there's a power move right there. The confidence in the car to pull that kind of move off.
Confidence in the car and the knowledge that he could make the other driver react the way he wanted to, and force that from him.
You learn that in karting. That's the kind of move you learn. You learn that instinct. If you don't have the instinct, you learn it certainly in karting. And these guys have been racing more than half their life. And that's where you see that. When you see a move like that, you just think, yeah, instinctual, fully instinctual.
Nico Prost is right behind Daniel Abt now. This is the battle for 6th. In Prost mirrors is Turvey down the inside of
Verne.
Nelson Piquet goes. Jean-Eric Verne for 3rd place.
All right, how quickly is he going to catch Sam Bird?
Now again, Verne has been selling Piquet that he's going to attack him at turn 7, throws it down the inside of corner 1.
I think he was getting a little frustrated there. If you watch the relative speed, he was so much quicker through the middle of the corners. Here it is. Look how far back he is.
Yeah.
And you can see Nelson lifting and coasting a little bit. Oh no, and he's been caught.
Yeah.
Caught a little bit by surprise, maybe.
Sees him coming just in time. Fastest race lap, by the way, last time round for Sebastian Buemi, now that he's in clear air. So the Techeetah team congratulating Jean-Eric Verne, who moves up to 3rd. Rosenqvist still leading. Now, in the last lap, a whole second out ahead of Sam Bird, gone from 2.2 to 3.2 seconds on that last lap alone.
Yeah, that's a big old gap. I wonder if Sam was 25-1, so yeah.
Yep.
Wasn't his best lap of the day, and he's got to have known now. They've probably come on the radio and said, right, Jeff's coming, and he'll look in the mirrors and start to see him here pretty quickly.
And look, there the blue car,
Yeah.
So too is Sebastian Buemi. There's Daniel Abt with Prost behind him.
Nico's making hard work of getting past him, isn't he? And if you watch now, compared to the people that watch qualifying, they had a lot more rear wing in the cars, a lot more downforce in the cars for corner speed in qualifying. Now they've trimmed their things out. They want to save as much energy as possible, and obviously the less wing they have. There's Nico Prost making that move into 1.
And it's really hard to
Bit of a
defend
lock-up.
against that, isn't it?
But there's such a big bump as well on the inside that it's really hard to make that move. So, yeah, first class moves there. But yeah, they're going for straight line speed now, and they're trying to use the minimum amount of energy to power the car through the air. Problem is, you don't have the grip in braking or in the corner, so it changes the handling of the car. But you see everybody's trimmed out, and you can see those rear wings are pointed more towards the sky.
A lot of straights here, a lot of straight line speed as well. You just saw Mauro Engel, Stefan Sarazan, 13th and 14th. There is Nick Heidfeld in 11th in front of them.
Now, Rosenqvist has used 4% more than Buemi. It's starting to get to that point of being a sort of 3/4 of a lap, a half a lap of distance, if you want to call it that.
The problem is, it's such a long lap. Will there ever be a stage where you've got a lap in hand? And maybe Buemi now is in a position where he's in the slipstream behind Piquet and Verne. Now is maybe maximum cruise and coast to try and go to 17 on the first car and 16 on the second, with a little bit to dice with in the last
lap
lap.
10 here, Martin, but the thing is, it's pointless gaining half a lap. Half a lap gives you nothing. Oh,
Yes.
maybe a little nudge there. You've got to gain a lap. That's it. So you've got to know the target to gain the lap. Pointless being half a lap because you've just run out.
Well, remember, right on lap 1, Rosenqvist telling the team that he couldn't change the screen in his dash on his steering wheel that allows him to see various different factors.
Now, he and Nelson Piquet are burning through the energy quicker than anybody else now. Now, if you look at that, they're both at 36%, as is Nick Heidfeld. Maybe that's the position the Mahindra guys find themselves in.
Yep.
Look at that yaw. Look at the slide there with Nelson Piquet. He come down into this turn 4 area, jumping over the curb a little bit. And Buemi's caught him in a hurry.
Yeah. Fastest lap last time round for Sebastian Buemi at 24.4. And of course there is a point for that as well as all the others. Down the inside.
He came in a hurry, did he not? I mean, that was mighty.
Yeah. He's not worried about his energy usage there. He wants track position.
He's just going. He's got to catch that gap to win this race today. He's obviously Felix Rosenqvist, the guy's got to gain that.
Look on the pylon though. Buemi still with 37%, 4% more than Piquet.
That's what I mean. That's going to be trouble. Look, he wasn't even in the braking zone. He'd already pulled alongside before they got in the brakes. We've got a yellow at turn 8. Turn 8, there's no runoff here. So if there is a yellow, chances are somebody's in against the wall.
Yeah.
Da Costa late move on Degrassi.
Well, that was holding off Lucas. I think Lucas had got a run on him, hadn't he?
Give him a little nudge there. Oh, Degrassi, there we go, turn 8.
Maybe there was a crash.
Look at them going into the sun. Now Da Costa stopped, turn 8. If you can't get this going, that's going to be a full course yellow. There's nowhere for the marshals to pull that car off the track there.
And then Rosenqvist's near 4-second lead will vanish.
Now that point of the track, they're looking into the sun as well, the driver, so it'll be very difficult to see that car. Quite a dangerous situation.
And it's right out by the wall where the racing line is as well. Sam Bird has been caught by Jean-Eric Verne. There was only 0.7 of a second between them at the line.
He's catching him about 0.4 of a second a lap there. Obviously they've got to go a little slow down through here because it's waved yellows. You don't want to come, it's a blind corner, you don't want to come through and get surprised by the car that's parked right there.
Da Costa's gone through a couple of power cycles in the car. It still has not restarted.
Double yellow at turn 8.
Now, we heard in free practice, the race director actually has the power to talk directly to the driver in the car and ask him the question, can you restart? And if he says no, then we will go full course yellow fairly quickly.
Which, you know, if you look at Rosenqvist, use that extra energy. Mind you, we're getting into that window now. We're getting to that point of lap 13. Well, but I think it'll be a virtual safety car with that. And that would change that strategy, but we're getting into the window now. But it does stretch that second stint with the second car.
Team have told Da Costa to go for a full recycle. That's turn it off for 30 seconds and basically control alt delete, and he is now moving, so that worked. And this is Loic Duval with only part of a nose.
You see what I mean? How the sun is low, how it's very difficult to see that there. Luckily he's gone now, so the yellow flags have gone in. The chance of a full course caution or a virtual safety car, all that stuff has gone.
Now Duval is not being black and orange flagged, which would force him to come into the pits because there's dangerous chance of his car falling apart dangerously in front of a rival. So Loic Duval currently in 15th ahead of teammate Jerome D'Ambrosio, but we don't know who he lost the nose, or the upper part of the nose wing on. Maybe that was that first corner little bump out of turn 10.
There's definitely some rubber on it there, so he's given somebody a little nudge, or somebody's moved and crossed in front of him, and just there's been contact anyway, whoever's fault it was.
The exit at turn 10, he ran into somebody's gearbox, didn't he? Who was he behind on the grid?
My memory's not that good.
It was behind D'Ambrosio, actually, ironically, his own teammates. That might have been the case. Here's Jean-Eric Verne, still on the hurry-up.
You'd have to say Sam Bird's already been defensive.
He's got a little more power in hand than Verne, but 1 or 2% isn't enough to make a big difference.
Buemi's, I don't think anybody's getting to the point of being able to do one more lap than Rosenqvist as we sit here. It's whether Rosenqvist can only do that half lap though.
Mitch Evans, Adam Carroll are both 25-26% as the Mahindra cars are down to 18. Are they going 17 on the first lap and trying to hurry up through the second part of the race on a slightly shorter stint?
Time will tell.
Yep.
Jean-Eric Verne just slowly catching the DS Virgin car of Sam Bird there.
DS Virgin
Sam
team
can do about it.
No, they'll be hoping that nothing goes wrong. His teammate Lopez in 14th.
Window for strategy. Keep going, try and save a bit more energy.
The engineer just said those famous words. The equivalent is go fast, save fuel. Or in this case, go fast, save energy. And then the driver generally replies, how would you like me to do that?
Well, listen, you were the master of that, weren't you, in your IndyCar racing career?
I just imagined I was paying for it. That was the easiest way. And Buemi is catching these boys too. We're going to have a heck of a battle for second position here in a minute.
Well, Van's going to end up with one hand tied behind his back a little. He's got the least power of this trio that will be battling for second.
Now, obviously Rosenqvist, 4.6 second lead there, and he's continuing to knock down those 1 minute 24 second laps. He's looking good.
4.66, 1.58, 22.98.
Big move, there we go. Look from how far back he came there. And that was, again, Sam's got a bit more energy.
Okay, he is worse on energy than you. He is worse on energy.
Copy that. Two laps to go.
Let's see how quickly he can start catching Rosenqvist if he can.
More than Jeff.
Now it's going to get busy. We've completed 15 laps. It's box this lap or box next lap. And which way is it going to go?
I reckon. Can they stretch it to another? I think another. You're going to see them do another lap at least.
I think so. I think these maybe not Rosenqvist.
Position on strategy. He might have to go 1 lap shorter.
He might have to go 1 lap shorter.
Or he'll be slow on his last lap. Buemi has more energy than you. Buemi has more energy. He'll go to 7.
Currently very similar pace to the car behind Buemi, 1/10 difference.
So that was Sam's engineer, then Jean-Eric's engineer.
Is it 1 lap after this one?
That's correct.
All right,
So you're hearing it all from the engineers there.
So Dams are saying that Bird is on the same strategy as you to Buemi, so expect him to go 17, and Vern's going to pump for 17 as well. Does Rosenqvist?
Let's have a look here. Set him up really well. The no crossover.
This is Oliver Turvey in front.
He's going to come down into the turn. Where's he going in at 4? Braking. Nice. Look at that.
That was
look at the setting
place.
sun.
Yeah.
That makes it tough. But he's going forwards, and there's a replay of the Jean-Eric Verne move on Sam Bird. Sam was smart enough, backed out of it, realised I can't go around the outside, it's dirty there, pulled in behind, and didn't do anything stupid.
Well, you go out wide into the grey there, you're asking to end up in the wall, aren't you? Or give away 2 places because you have to lift off.
Here we go, it's getting critical here. Rosenqvist, 5%. He's got to be in this lap.
Yeah. Mind you, that will have completed 16 laps.
He's got a 4.5 second lead. He's coming down there. He's coming out of sort of turn 8 at this point. He's got enough to make it for this lap.
So this is where the crew members have massive butterflies because they have to make sure there are no miscues in the car swap.
Minimum pit stop time 50 seconds, so that way the belts are offside. Rosenqvist asking if he's coming in. Yeah.
Copy, remind you, unplug your radio before coming in the garage.
I think surely everybody's got to come in.
Well, I don't know, Bird and Buemi. Rosenqvist is in, lead is in. Verne must come in, surely. Verne is in. Bird and Buemi go by.
Bird continues.
Bird and Buemi go by. PK is in, Prost will go by. Engel, Sarazan, Heidfeld will come in, so will Mar. The rest are going by.
I don't see how Bird can make this lap without having to slow down.
Well, Buemi has to slow down as well. But at the other end of this,
at some point you've got to pay the tax, don't you? At some point you've got to, you either do it in the first car like these guys, or you're going to have to run a longer second stint and you're going to be at a massive disadvantage. But you've got to get to the pit entry line before that number goes to zero. And you can't obviously slow down too much. There we go.
Off goes the race leader, Felix Rosenqvist, back into action. This is Mar.
Slow getting the steering wheel off there. That then puts more pressure on the guys to do the next part of it a little quicker, and mistakes can happen. There we go, Rosenqvist heading out. Interesting to see what the gap was. Let's have a look at the lap.
Bird down to 3%. He's going to make it though. He's in sector 2 at the moment. So our rejoin, Rosenqvist all the way down to 12th place now, 13th place now. But when all these other guys in front stop, suddenly he'll be back up the ladder rather than down the snake.
But he's going to have to pay at some point. He's going to have to slow it down because he's going to have a longer second stint, isn't he? There we go. Oh, it's getting a bit action-packed in. The Buemi's in trouble. Is he in trouble? What, I think he missed turn 7.
Got by. It's got by Bird on the way into the pits.
Now, that happened in turn 7. So turn 11 there. What happened?
Just got by Bird, as Bird probably had to really coast in because he was down to 0%. Yes. Didn't want the car switching itself off.
This was the point last week in Hong Kong that Sam's car would not go into gear.
Bird, the car repaired after a crash in practice. qualifying.
Oliver Turvey there in the next EV car.
He came in just in front of Lucas de Grassi. And now, as Rosenqvist gets to the line, watch him go from 13th. He'll be
25.7.
Okay, look for Buemi on the right. At the bottom of your middle of your screen there, look for Buemi coming out. Rosenqvist's lead is substantial. There we go, there's Sam Bird heading out. And Buemi's got him. Stayed ahead.
Okay,
but
so
the gap to Rosenqvist is massive.
Yep.
These guys are going to be hunting now. From this point to the end of the race, they're going to be trying to hunt down Felix Rosenqvist. Rosenqvist's got to back off a little bit because he's got a longer second stint.
Yep.
All setting up for a big finish.
Heidfeld with more power. Rosenqvist with 10% less power. That's an extra lap, so, or 9%, so let's say 9%.
Sam Bird locked up there going into 3.
Yeah. Now Bird, okay, he lost ground on track to Buemi, who dived by him on 0.5% of more power, but they were both saving. So it's not like Buemi behind had loads more power. Now they've got to capitalise on one extra lap of power in the car.
Which is what, 8%?
Yeah, 9%, because Rosenqvist was on 90 and they were on 99 when they came out, let's say. So Rosenqvist will have to go slow for one final lap.
Yeah, he's definitely taking it easy here.
Yes.
He's him lifting in it, but then carrying that speed through the corner. Oh.
Well,
that's
power issues. Joan Arroul's been past the laptop because the battery's going flat. So let's take a look. 4.6 seconds ahead of Jean-Eric Verne. And Rosenqvist is basically going to cruise and coast at one corner per lap rather than do it all on the final lap and let them catch him. DaCosta is a long way back, a lap behind. There is Buemi in third, Bird in fourth. And here's the gap back to Nico Prost in the blue car in fifth. And then look, it is Abt ahead of de Grassi, 6th and 7th, with Turvey behind in 8th position.
And those are the visual gaps. It's great to say 4.5 seconds, 6.3, whatever the gaps are. That is the visual.
4.5 is most of a straight here, isn't it?
Yeah, and just for reference, Jean-Eric Verne was 0.4 of a second quicker than Felix Rosenqvist that last lap.
Now look at the bottom. Who's got the fan boost? Buemi in third, Abt in 6th, and that's going to make a difference. That might make one lap's worth of energy.
If he's got enough energy to actually use the fan boost, that's a critical situation. 2
fan boost cars right there. Abt in front of de Grassi. They've both got fan boost. Now, if one uses it to get by the other will have to get by. Look at the right-hand side. You can see the power usage as he goes on and off the throttle.
So you'll see it go back up to 170 kilowatts of power in the center there. You'll see the G-force meter when they brake. You see the braking there going up, and then when he goes back to the throttle on the far right, the bar graph, there you go. See he's in 4th gear, 89% of battery. On the left-hand side, you can see his position relative to the rest of the field. This is there's a lot of information, a lot more information than Lucas de Grassi has, trust me on that. And Lucas still has that fan boost to use though. Is he going to use it, and when will he use it?
We've got it on one screen and he's going to have to flick through several pages to get any of this stuff up. And of course, as we were just saying, his teammate in front also has fan boost, so if he uses it to get by Abt, then Abt's got fan boost to get back by. It neutralises itself.
Locks the front, yeah, I don't think he will use it to get by him. He might use it to close the gap.
He has to get by Abt and then use it to try and get by Prost or Bird or whoever's next in the queue.
There's a big old gap.
He's got to muscle by his teammate the way he muscled by a couple.
Gap. Oh,
Jean-Eric Verne speeding in the pit lane potentially. He's being investigated for it.
Now the problem Abt's got right now is he's 2.5 seconds behind Nico Prost.
Yeah, gap is growing slightly as well.
If say he gets by Abt, he's still got a long old road to go. You know, and at that point he's 21 seconds behind the leader. So yeah, it's damage limitation today, I would definitely say, for Lucas de Grassi. And there's our leader going serenely about his way. He lost another 6/10 that lap, so maybe not quite so serenely. I'm sure he's well aware of what's going on and the trouble that he might be in.
Antonio Felix da Costa just setting fastest lap on that lap. Mauro Engel has parked up in the garage. He has not reappeared. So Mauro Engel out of the race.
Nelson Piquet 18th.
What happened there? There must have been a major issue.
Yep, we didn't see that, did we?
1 minute 40 pit stop compared to 50 for the fastest and 54 for the next slowest. So Felix Rosenqvist with less power than anyone else in the field, but leading from Jean-Eric Verne, who's the second least well off in terms of power. And the gap is fluctuating. Essentially.
What about the speed of the guy in front?
He wants to know the lap
this
time.
percentage.
He wants information. He wants to know the
Your
stuff.
72% car in front, 71. Buemi on 78.
That's what he wants to know.
Yep.
Okay, what's the gap? How quickly am I catching him?
71, 71.
And he can see that he's catching Rosenqvist. He wants to know, is Buemi catching me? The answer is yes, 9/10 that last lap. He's coming.
So how is Rosenqvist saving this energy? What's he doing differently than, say, this guy, Buemi, in third place, who has less to save?
Well, he's lifting a little bit earlier in the straight. Say you would normally lift at the 100-yard board. He's lifting maybe at the 150 or 200, and then he's coasting for that bit. So his speed as he starts to brake is less, but he brakes a lot later. His actual time of touching the brakes is later. He brakes for less distance, gets off the brakes earlier, and carries more mid-corner speed with the same to throttle time on exit.
Now, of course,
That's
every time the
generally how you
car
do it.
slows down, it starts to recharge the battery. But you can't recharge an awful lot when you've still got 90%. So actually, he can recharge more now, regen more than some of the cars behind him, even at this early stage.
I'd say at this point they're all sort of regenning at the same rate. I would imagine it's how efficient that's going to be as well. You know, how much every time you lift, how much you can regen, and how much you can do that without upsetting the balance of the car as well.
What about the podium battle? Buemi in the blue car versus Bird in the purple, 1.6 to 1.1.
23.6, 23.6.
Now, if you're Felix Rosenqvist, you now can look in the mirror and see Jean-Eric Verne.
Car in front, a 25.4.
If you're Jean-Eric Verne, you can now look in the mirror and see Sebastian Buemi
Car in
coming.
front, 64. You are 65. Car behind, 71.
Oh, end of the race for Jean-Eric Verne.
Come on.
Unbelievable.
Come on. Drive-through penalty. Jean-Eric Verne speeding in pit lane. You see it there at the bottom of the screen.
10.24.
I mean,
well, at some stage, fairly soon, his engineer is going to have to tell him the bad news. And at that stage, you might want to just cover your sensitive ears for a moment or two. Techeetah, well, there was an issue in Superpole that was down to the team mismanaging things. I'm afraid pit lane speeding is down to Jean-Eric mismanaging things, or a malfunction with the speed limiter button.
Let's be honest here, the result's the same. The team, the driver, none of them are going to win today because of that.
Maro Engel also under investigation.
But he's in the pits.
Minimum speed, under the minimum speed for the pit lane. Well,
that's, I mean, he's done
He's
anything
out of
for
the
the
race.
day. But again, we're seeing Sebastian Buemi just catching 6/10 that lap.
Okay, right. So now it's not about the Techeetah car catching the Mahindra car. Now we've got to look 2 cars further back to where Sebastian Buemi is. And as you say,
1.6 seconds.
23.9, 1.6 seconds, but the gap is 6 seconds.
He should be with him in a couple of laps now. Look at this slow-mo of a master at work. A rookie, but a master. Felix Rosenqvist there, coming through the turn 4-5 chicane. Up on that sausage curb. Bit of air. And you don't want to go in this exit curb too much because you lose steering if you do, but lovely shot. Look at the slide. Just on the edge of the front grip there.
Well, he was treating that curb as if it was a solid wall, wasn't he?
Here's your drive-through. Oh.
Jeff, cannot believe it. That's a second kick in the teeth today in the last 3 hours. And
Speed, Jeff, speed.
Yes.
How is
Buemi.
that possible? I mean, we need to make some efforts on the fucking dash.
Excuse me for the language there. Apologies for that.
Can understand his frustration. Can't. Buemi's gone
absolutely.
through. Bird has gone through. Prost has gone through. Prost will now move up to 4th place, where he finished in Hong Kong.
I don't think he's going to stay there very long. Jean-Eric Verne is going to have steam coming out of his ears, and he's going to be after him.
And look what that's done to his usage. He's still on 56%, despite that little slow cruise through the pit lane. Hasn't done an awful lot of difference.
Buemi caught up Rosenqvist 9/10 of a second that lap. Yeah. I would Verne's a little bit far back, but watch him into turn 7 here. Yeah, maybe slightly too far back for that move.
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe not for Verne.
Well, we'll see.
Lap 24 of 33, so 9 to go after this. And Buemi still 4.9. Now, it was only 5.9 a couple of laps ago. It's going to be close. Rosenqvist is just allowing him to catch with every corner, but not in a big lump.
Yellow flag at turn 3. Now we've got 9 laps to go. Our leader has just crossed the finish line, and he lost 2 seconds on that lap, so 3.3 seconds.
Well, they've been warning Rosenqvist on the radio. It's Loic Duval again with a
Okay, copy that.
stationary Faraday
cycle.
Full recycle. That's on the run down to the chicane, out of turn 3.
Right in the middle of the road there. There he's going.
Okay, he's going again, but not very quickly, however.
Okay, is he going to have a move
Yeah,
there?
come in the garage, you stop in the pit lane, you stay in the car, we're going to put full downforce, and see if you can go for a fastest lap.
Okay,
So
that's the strategy.
Okay, John-Eric, he wasn't able to get to the throttle hard enough there because of understeer out of 3, so he's not going to make the move into 4. He's going to have to get close through here, set himself up for that move in 7. Look at Prost gapping him a little bit, not enough though. He's setting up for this move. This is it now.
Now, I don't know. Prost got a really good exit. Look at the way it picks up off the corner.
They've both got the Renault powertrain, but
yeah. How you use it, maybe just. Okay.
Buemi fan boost activated.
Yes.
He's trying to close that gap.
He's within 2.5 seconds now. So he has 100 kilojoules of extra energy. That's a capacity amount, not how fast he's using it. So it's gallons as opposed to horsepower, if you like.
Yeah, and they can play around with how they choose to use that.
Yeah.
There's Rosenqvist again. You're going to see how.
Oh, Buemi can smell victory.
1.9 seconds.
That's Alain Prost. Now there's a man, if you ever wanted to know what Sebastian Buemi needs to do most, Alain Prost can give you chapter and verse.
Yeah, he used to do that so well.
Yeah.
Just quietly go about his business. Yeah, 1.4 seconds last lap, so.
The idea is to win by 100th of a second or less if you can.
There's a man that's feeling the pressure.
12.10.
Discussing the amount of energy left.
Now, Buemi is always going to be in the green compared to Rosenqvist because of that extra lump of fan boost that has brought him up close. Now he starts to get in the slipstream, and Dario, that helps him use less energy as well because he's not having to break through that solid wall of air all the time.
Yeah, if he was in a situation of having less usable energy than Rosenqvist, he would sit there for a while and just sort of take a free ride and use the draft. He's not in that position. He's got to get on him, get by him, and there's only 4% difference in usable energy now. And
that's because he's been chasing him down. He's hauled him in 5 seconds. There's Jean-Paul Triot.
12, target
1.1 seconds. We're now at 0.8 of a second. Let's see how cool this rookie's going to be.
Très bien, on a 4% plus de batterie que Rosenqvist.
And Sam Bird got a lonely race for Sam Bird.
So Buemi being told he's got 4% more battery. So basically you're even, because 4%'s not an extra lap. It's barely an extra move here.
But it means you're not gonna have to lift and coast as much at a point in the track. You can keep that throttle down.
Buemi has more energy than us, so don't waste so much energy defending.
Okay. Abt has yet to use his fan boost, and De Grassi
10.53.
throws it up the inside into 3. Didn't use the fan boost yet.
Is Buemi on him? He's right there going into 7.
This is for the lead of the race. Sebastian Buemi from poleman, in front of him Felix Rosenqvist.
Now, if you're Buemi, you can afford to sit there for a minute. You don't have to make a desperate lunge because you're clearly quicker, you've got more energy, so you don't have to do those desperate moves. It looks like turn 11 might be it here, though. Rosenqvist going defensive.
A month ago, Hong Kong was Buemi's 7th win. This is Rosenqvist's 2nd race in Formula E, and Buemi goes around the outside.
Bravo, bravo.
Nothing he could do there. I mean, really, that was just
It
showed.
is the time to try to follow and take profit of his snow.
17.41.
That was impressive.
9.56.
And still Buemi relating back his fuel usage and his fuel remaining on that lap as he comes across the line.
He's got to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and there's Sam Bird and P3 having a lonely race.
Target conso 1.71, target conso 1.71, on save la batterie, on sauve la batterie.
Conserve the battery. Those are the, you know, the numbers don't mean anything to us. They mean something to him, but conserve the battery. You've got track position.
I mean, look at this
Use
move.
it.
Rosenqvist going to the inside, going defensive. You see him looking in the right mirror there. And yeah, there goes the champion. And then look at Boemi. He's looking at the apex, but then he looks in the mirror. Is Rosenqvist coming back at me? No.
Yeah. Well, Rosenqvist wants to finish second if he can't finish first. He doesn't want to end up in a tangle of broken bits here at turn 11.
Yeah, I know, but drivers do tend to make mistakes or have red mist.
Yeah.
Not me, of course. When I was driving, I never would have done that.
Never.
But some do.
Has been known.
It has been known.
Has been known. But again, you know, that's one of the joys of watching these Formula E races is the talent all the way through the field is absolutely exceptional. What's just happened there? Lopez jumped Freems. So Lopez up to 10th,
In the
Bird in
point.
third. That'll be the first point score for Jose Maria Lopez. And there is the Jaguar duo.
Great shot when they've got that medium spoke visor on. You can really see the driver's eyes there as they go into the setting sun. I like that.
Yeah, Mitch Evans just ahead, Adam Carroll rather, just ahead of Mitch Evans.
And Maz coming back at him here.
Yeah, oh, very slow again. Loic Duval, that is not a happy car, is it?
No.
He's going to have to park that, I'm afraid.
Yeah,
Never mind.
Engel was out trying to do fastest lap.
Unless, don't forget what they told him, come in, we're going to give it maximum downforce. He may still be getting a bit of clear air to go for a fast lap.
Yeah, absolutely. Or
Let the field go by,
yeah,
and then give yourself half a lap, and then
give it plenty.
give it hell for leather.
Degrassi coming up.
Degrassi, sixth position.
Now, did you see? Look at the difference in the car. The car in front yawing a bit with oversteer. Lucas struggling with understeer right behind him there. And he's behind Jean-Eric Verne.
Well,
Where's Jean-Eric's pace gone?
yeah, here's two. Well, look at his power usage, 25%. He's got nothing left. That's where his pace has gone. And Jean-Eric is a sitting duck, isn't he?
Jean-Eric, it's not his strength as of right now. Is not saving power. He can drive one lap as quick as anybody. He's just got to sort of have the discipline, I think, in the races sometimes. If they can teach him that, he could be a championship contender once the team get the house in order.
degrees. Keep an eye on the regen.
Talking temperatures there.
Yeah, the battery temperature is a very limiting factor, isn't it? If it gets over 55 or 56, then you're really into serious power loss
But
territory.
anybody I've spoken to today said battery temperature not an issue here. It's all about power usage. So I'm a little surprised they're talking about that. He has been in traffic all day, though. He has been stuck up the gearbox of the car in front, so maybe that's raised his temperature.
Felix Rosenqvist with Sam Bird now closing in. This is the battle for second. Boemi is gone, unless he has an issue or falls asleep, and that doesn't happen often.
I'm not sure he'll fall asleep. Look at that. Bit of a late defending there from Jean-Eric Verne. Look at, there's a... Oh no, he gave him a little nudge there, trying to get the cut back on him.
That's one of the things with this new front wing, is it does allow you to get underneath another car without interlocking wheels so much. This is the battle for second, then Rosenqvist, the red and white Mahindra car, Sam Bird, the purple and black and chrome of DS Virgin.
Sam is just biding his time here again, just setting up for this move. I'm not quite sure he has the pace advantage that Boemi had, but he's going to be trying a similar move, I would imagine.
See Boemi having a long, hard look down the straight in the mirror. Where are they? What's going on with those two?
Look at Rosenqvist looking in that right mirror as he comes up to the braking zone. He's waiting for Sam Bird to commit to the outside so he can then come back over and take his natural line into the corner.
Bird is almost kissing him as he goes by.
1.5% more energy than Rosenqvist.
5.14.
Rosenqvist defending again.
Yep.
Sam's just got to wait for a slight mistake, just some daylight on the inside, or the outside in some cases, and he's going to be through.
Fastest lap by Loic Duval, 1:22.9. Nobody's going to get within 2 seconds of that.
That's pretty stout, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why he was slowing down to give himself room for that lap, and he'll
Turn
now
three.
park.
The speed Sam Bird was able to carry into turn 3 there. That's how you. That's a real advert of how you save fuel, by getting off the brakes, running that speed in.
And he is still attached by the shortest piece of elastic to the back of that red and white Mahindra car. Here comes Bird.
Surely this is the move.
Yep.
I think poor old Felix is in a bit of energy trouble here.
Alex Ty very happy with that. Chris Gorn watching, and the spectacles just past him. Well, Bird back up to second place. Boemi 2.9 seconds ahead. And Yellow flags flying there. What happened? This is Degrassi.
And Degrassi and Jeff.
Soljev the dummy.
This was turn 3 again now. This when he hit him earlier, when he tried
that
that
early,
crossover. Great view, well done guys in the cameras to catch that.
Yellow flag at turn 10 was the
got him here at the 7.
Yeah.
Look at that, look at those fronts. Tell me that wasn't the limit.
How many times did he lock up in free practice and shoot straight on there? Degrassi was definitely metering out that as the prime overtaking
2
place.
laps to go. He actually rubbered in the runoff area, didn't he, at one point?
Enormously so, yes. So Degrassi up to 5th position. Bird can't shake off Rosenqvist.
Well, he knows though. I mean, they're very equal energy amounts now.
Yeah.
And he's going to sit there and just manage that gap. And there's just the dominant force right now in Formula E. Sebastian Buemi did not look particularly ruffled after qualifying, didn't go his way. Everybody's saying how wonderful the Renault powertrain is and stuff like that. This guy is making the most of it. He really is. Talking about economy, I guess? Yeah.
Dis-moi si on est dans le tir, dis-moi si on est OK.
Tell me everything. Well, Byrne was the first to drop below 10%.
Target conso 1.8.
Buemi still okay for one more lap. We reckon it'll need 9%. But he's got a 3.6 second lap.
Listen to how early he's lifting. They're all, especially Rosenqvist is going to have to go easy on this last lap.
Yeah.
The good news for him, though, is he's got a 7-second advantage on Nico Prost.
Van buried deep, App's gone by him. So he's down to 7th place.
26-0-0.
There's your top 3. Buemi, Bird and Rosenqvist.
Attention sur les freins.
Last time in Hong Kong we had the oldest ever combined age of a Formula E podium.
Gap avec Bird, 3
That's a
secondes.
stat for you, isn't it?
And the same 3 drivers was second oldest podium previously.
Fastest lap and then he's had a problem again.
Yeah, he's having a mare with that car, isn't he?
I think it was quick though.
He got a point.
Yellow turn 7.
Buemi coming in through turn 4 and 5. Final lap. White flag, as they say in America.
Rosenqvist might be on fumes. What's the electrical equivalent of on fumes? Whatever, they are all going to be very close.
The reaction from the driver is the same, I believe.
Yeah.
And we've got some, what's going on? There's a car parked in the tyre wall on the right.
Oh, so it is, it's a Jaguar, Mitch Evans. Now he hopefully will get out and he will finish the race, which he didn't in Hong Kong.
Okay,
What
yellow
happened
turn
here?
10.
The car in front locked up and then Mitch followed
he
him
got on
in.
the dirt. Yep.
Oh,
Yikes. Got suckered into that. Car in front was Nelson Piquet.
here's our leader coming down turn 11.
And this is almost looking like the slowing down celebration lap. He has been
2%
very cautious. Rosenqvist will click down to 1% before getting to the straight, will he?
I would just be lifting off about now.
Checkered flag awaits. Victory in Marrakesh. The first race winner in Africa is Sebastian Buemi. 2 for 2 to start the season. Sam Bird in 2nd place.
Bravo, Seb.
And our pole man Felix Rosenqvist thrilled to bits on the podium in his 2nd ever Formula E race. Renault Edam's
Les mecs, on a eu un
4th.
petit problème avec... j'ai trop consommé dans le dernier tour. J'ai failli passer en dessus de 28. J'ai passé à 27,7. Mais dans le dernier tour, ça a consommé de folie.
Yeah, but you won, Seb.
Yeah, but he's got to make it back.
Sebastian, remember to go to the
Okay,
left
Seb,
after
c'est
turn
0,3
4 for the
marche quand même.
podium.
On
Yeah.
était pas mal.
Now they're only
So-
going to do a half lap on the way back.
Yeah.
It's such a long
Super
lap.
cool.
They'll come in by there. Otherwise,
C'est
they'd
comme
be
ça qu'on fait,
pushing.
même avec les pénalités.
Yes, no doubt about
Mais
it.
non,
It'll
la
be
voiture est
Nigel
incroyable.
Mansell in Vegas,
Désolé,
wouldn't it? Every
début de
single
course,
one of
j'ai un
them.
peu été prudent. Par contre,
There we
après,
go.
Ça allait
That
vraiment
was...
top. Merci beaucoup, les
Buemi
mecs.
just...
Venez vite au podium,
Look
pas
at
que
Turbin,
j'attende
7th
trop
of the
longtemps.
line, on 0%. Heidfeld on 0%. Now, that's legal as long as you get to the finish line or get to the pit-in line. Wow, 0%.
That's cutting it close, isn't it?
I think they were there or thereabouts, weren't they? Well, they made it through the longest ever Formula E race, and Sebastian Buemi, the champion, now has again a perfect winning record. 2 for 2. He is now 8 career wins out of 23
That's mighty.
starts.
That is mighty.
So
Yeah, he's
that's-
with a great team. He's got a great powertrain, but what a performance! Again, that's not
That
the
now
best view in
puts
the world.
his
I have
winning
to say.
margin back up above 1 in every 3 starts.
There's a happy Sam Bird.
Yes.
Yes, Virgin guys are going to be happy because that car was in kit form a couple hours ago.
I think Bird is at the happiest he's been probably since he woke up this morning and made it to the track. Then he would have been full of the joys of spring, and then all sorts of wheels fell off the wagon. But second place,
Literally fell off the wagon.
yeah, well, got knocked off, fell off. Make your own out of that.
Yeah, I think they did get knocked off. They had some help. But then Felix Rosenqvist, P3, as a rookie. In this company, that's bloody impressive.
Absolutely. Well, so he's done no end of good. He had a point for fastest lap in Hong Kong. He starts the race with 3 extra points for pole position, and now he ends up with 15 points for third place as well. So he suddenly, two-race rookie, is now a championship contender. Nico Prost again in 4th position. How much of a great job are Renault Edam's doing at the moment? DS Virgin, and then the 2 Abt Schaeffler cars as well. De Grassi 5th from 12th on the grid, ahead of Daniel Abt, who started in 5th position on the grid. And Oliver Turvey, Jean-Eric Verne. Okay, the race that might have been, the weekend that might have been for Techeetah. Nick Heidfeld in 9th, and 10th place for Jose Maria Lopez. He gets his first race finish. Didn't go the way Andretti had hoped. They're going to need shorter tracks to be able to perhaps maximise their package here. Venturi, Stefan Sarrazin, the better of their finishers. And the fastest lap point does go to Loic Duval with a car that really didn't want to play throughout the race. Well, he looked fairly unflustered on the grid, and you wouldn't know now that it's not 2 minutes exactly the same on our race winner.
That's what you want, though. If you're him, you don't want to let your competitors, the other drivers, know what you're thinking. When you're having a bad day or a great day, you know, keep it calm. We love to see emotion as fans, but when you're doing your job, you've got to keep them in the dark, keep the opposition in the dark.
When he's called up on the stage, we'll see the emotion. There'll be plenty of it. Remember Hong Kong, he was very, very happy with that. And Sam Bird, 2nd place. Well, that eradicates some of my jinx, I think. Let's get down. Nicky Shields is with our race winner, Sebastian Buemi.
Seb, what a achievement, you know, up from 7th on the grid, but you knew you could do it, didn't you?
I mean, I think in Hong Kong we didn't have such a good car in the race, but we were a bit lucky. Today we had an amazing car, and thanks to my team really. What happened, you know, in qualifying with the 5-place grid penalty was hard, but the car was good. I couldn't really show it in the first stint, but then the second stint when I had the different strategy to Felix, so I could really make the gap.
Do you think that really paid off, you know, having pitted at a different time to Felix?
Well, clearly, you know, if you can have the similar pace and do 1 lap more, it's always better, because you know that in the second stint you're going to have more energy. So we had more energy, and we were then quite a lot quicker.
Congratulations, well done.
8 race wins now. His closest rival, Lucas de Grassi, has 4. And he won 3 in year 1 out of 11 starts, 3 in year 2 out of 10. He's already won 2 out of 2 in year 3. Let's hear from Sam Bird, our runner-up.
Well, Sam, you were gaining on Felix throughout the race, and congratulations for your P2. Did you think it was touch and go at a certain point?
Yeah, with about 5 laps to go, I wasn't sure whether I was going to have enough energy to overtake him, but he's driving really well, you know, for a rookie. Really impressive, he's done really well. Seb's uncatchable again. We need to go back to the drawing board, because there's some areas that we're weak and we need to work on, which is disappointing in a way.
What areas are you talking about?
Some slow speed understeer, where his car rotates so well and just looks so easy, so consistent. So, you know, congrats to the team. We did a great job. P2. I like being P1 though.
Excellent. Well done. Enjoy the podium.
You know what Sam was just saying there about the slow speed understeer and the Renault Edam's car rotating. That's fixable. That's setup stuff. That's something they can do. Maybe they even have to play around with a bit of weight distribution, whatever. But that is fixable. It's not something a homologated part. So I feel that you know, if they can fix that problem, Sam's going to be more competitive. I also feel if Jean-Eric Verne wins the race, he's going to win a load of them.
Well, what about our pole man, Felix Rosenqvist? He ended up in 3rd place. Big day for the rookie.
Felix, you did a great job there, you know, hanging on to that 1st position for the majority of the race. But what were you thinking when you had Sebastian Buemi in your window?
Yeah, I mean, the first stint was pretty good. I think, you know, we had a different strategy than Sebastian and Sam, so obviously they came quicker to the end. It was really hard to match their pace, and they came a bit too quick. The team told me on the radio that they were closing in very quickly, and I think it was not much to do. But anyways, I'm really happy with the job we did. You know, I couldn't really expected more starting from P1 even, so a podium was more than I could expect.
I mean, this isn't a great achievement for Mahindra as well. You know, you've had 2 podiums in the last 2 races. This all-new powertrain seems to be paying off.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we are right up there, especially in qualifying. I think now we need to start work more on races, but yeah, for sure we are really much better than the team was last year, and everyone just raced their game, so it's really cool to be part of it.
Thanks very much, Felix.
Very happy Felix Rosenqvist, and as he said, Nick Heidfeld on the podium last time. He's in 3rd place here again this time. I mean, they're batting well, aren't they?
The Mahindra team have made a massive step up there, and obviously you've got the experience of Nick Heidfeld, who's going to help you with the setup, but Felix Rosenqvist, he's another guy. He's going to figure this out pretty quickly, and he is going to be a championship contender. The field gets stronger and stronger. The competition tightens up, and these guys are going to be on their limits. And then you look at Buemi, who's making it not look easy, but I think it shows that, to me, it shows what a fantastic job he is doing, and he needs all the plaudits for what he's able to do.
One thing to get to the top of the slippery pole, it's an entirely different thing to stay up there as everybody else continues to raise their game, and that's what Buemi is doing now. Confirmation again of this Marrakesh E-Prix. Round 2, Series 3. Sebastian Buemi wins, but behind him a different podium from Hong Kong. Sam Bird second for DS Virgin. Felix Rosenqvist, the rookie, 2 races in, and he's on the podium from the Nicholas Baer pole position. Nico Prost again in 4th place. Solid job by Renault Edams and both their drivers, and by App Schaefer as well. Lucas de Grassi 5th from 12th on the grid. Danny Lapton 6th place. Oliver Turvey, Jean-Eric Van, Nick Heidfeld and Jose Maria Lopez are our other point scorers for their finishes. And our final point scorer actually ended up in 18th place. It's Loic Duval. With the future Faraday Dragon racing car, he got that point for fastest lap, as he ended up in 18th place with a car that really didn't want to play game too many times. Sun is starting to set over the red city of Morocco. Sebastian Buemi, 50 points. As many as his closest rivals put together pretty much. Nico Prost moves up to 3rd in the championship, ahead of Felix Rosenqvist. I remind you, after Hong Kong, Rosenqvist had 1 point. He's now 4th in the championship, ahead of 3rd-year drivers like Sam Bird, his own teammate Nick Heidfeld, and Antonio Felix da Costa as well, the rookie in the Andretti car, having a really strong run. And again, just shows the caliber of the drivers here. You don't always have a great race, but you've always got great drivers in the car. Whether they have a bad race or a good race, they'll come back next time just as tough to beat. And almost a completely different top 10, race 1 to race 2 of season 3, shows the strength in depth that Formula E has had right from the start. Again, we say this in Hong Kong, not a single driver paying to be on this grid. They are all professionals being paid by the teams, and Renault Edams, again, with as many points as App Schaeffler and Mahindra pretty much put together. In fact, they got 2 points more than their closest 2 rivals. DS Virgin, Andretti very close, 4th and 5th. Next EV, a long way ahead at this stage, even despite some fairly disappointing fortune of the position that they were in last season. So they are looking bright. Faraday Future Dragon, not a great race weekend here for them. And Techeetah need to get rid of a couple of human errors on both sides of the pit wall before they can realise their potential. And still pointless, unfortunately, are newcomers, Panasonic Jaguar Racing. Right behind the TV compound and behind the grandstands. In the background you can see the exit of the chicane, turn 5 and 6, and panning back past our E-race zone to our stage. We are getting ready for our podium finishers to take to the stage. Well, we knew Felix Rosenqvist was talent. You don't accidentally win the European Formula 3 Championship, having been runner-up in the previous season. we don't accidentally win Formula 3 races on the streets of Macau. But 2 races in, you know, on the podium, on the Julius Baer pole position. I mean, he's really laying down the cards.
Yeah, absolutely. But how does he slip through the cracks? That's just the odd thing. You know, we tested him with the Ganassi IndyCar last year. Massively impressed. You just think, how does this guy slip through the gaps? It's great to see him get a fantastic drive.
Our winning team on the left, the familiar face of Alain Prost, and on the right, the equally familiar face to race fans of Jean-Paul Driot, the team principal of Dams, and now with Alain Prost, the joint team principal of Renault E-Dams. Third place. We were lauding him earlier for his qualifying performance that gave him the Julius Baer pole position here in Marrakesh, and he hung on with everything he could for Mahindra. Takes the team's 2nd podium finish in as many races. Last time out in Hong Kong, Nick Heidfeld. This time, the kid. 2nd place, DS Virgin Sam Bird led up until the car change, and then it didn't go his way. Well, the jinx may be weakened here, let's give it that much, as he finishes in 2nd place.
You better hope so.
Still yet to win a race I've commentated on, so this had better be going my way. I've had enough years of this. He's had enough years of this. Well, he looks happy with that result, doesn't he?
As he should.
Yeah.
Great team performance there. Great performance by Sam. Great performance by the team.
Well, Rosenquist started 1st, finished 3rd. Bird started 2nd, finished 2nd. But from starting in 7th place on the grid, our race winner is Sebastian Buemi from the Renault E-Dams team. Our Season 2 champion, our Hong Kong E-Prix winner, is also our Marrakesh E-Prix winner. Buemi heads from here next week to round out the season in the World Endurance Championship, because he's got 2 portfolios that he's working on concurrently. He won't be alone either.
It's all gone very quiet, hasn't it?
It's all gone very well so far this season for Renault E-Dams. And it's not just this man. Nico Prost, 4th in both races. He can't be far away from the podium. The Swiss anthem for Swiss francophone Sebastian Buemi, our race winner, and the national anthem of the winning team. Lots of vocal joining in with the Marseillaise from the Renault Edams team. They're very proud Frenchmen. Jean-Dominique Senard, the Chief Executive Officer of Michelin, our tyre partner in Formula E, will present the trophy to the winning team. A man that he, of course, sells Alain Prost the dummy and hands it straight to Jean-Paul Trial. That was a moment of pure comedy genius. Jean-Dominique Senard, I salute you. That was excellent. There's Nico Prost, 2 fourth places. He's looking strong.
The fact that he's there, though, supporting his teammate on the podium, first class.
Absolutely. So Lajoie, who is the Wali of Marrakesh, is presenting the trophy to Felix Rosenqvist for 3rd spot. And that is not a forced smile. He will be very happy 2 races in to have had a pole and to be 4th in the championship points with that 3rd place. The Minister of Sports for Morocco, Khalid Barghouji, who has been here a number of times to present trophies, because this circuit is very popular when the touring cars come here because of their Moroccan World Championship driver. And our race winners trophy will be presented by the president of COP22, the United Nations Energy Forum, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Saladin Nasrallah. A big smile for the 2nd race in succession in Season 3 from our champion of Season 2, Sebastian Buemi. This is how you win titles. You start off by racking up the points, and then you can laugh in the face of adversity a little more easily, Dario.
You've got to be careful not to try and back into it, though. But Buemi knows how to win a title.
He does.
You do it by going on the attack to varying degrees. Do not go on the defensive if you've got a good points lead, because you end up losing it, messing it up. You've got to just stay on the attack.
When you can win, you've got to win. It doesn't matter how big your advantage is.
The mindset as much as anything else, Martin. It really is. Winning one championship, difficult. Winning the next one back-to-back, hard. Winning a 3rd, even more difficult. Yeah. Winning the 4th one, then you're starting to figure it out, I would say. And that's not just the driver, that is a team mentality that has to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. From the first day to the last, 100%, nothing less will win you the title. Sometimes luck plays a part, but if you're not good, luck isn't going to help you. And there are the Trinity who have pulled it off here. Alain Prost, Jean-Paul Trio, and their star driver at the moment, Sebastian Buemi.
For weekly Formula E videos, click subscribe on the left-hand side. To watch the next one, click the icon in the centre, and remember to hit the like button and leave your comments down below.